Hey everyone, and welcomes back to the channel. In a surprising and emotionally charged development, headlines have continued to circulate, suggesting that Lauren London may be expecting a child with Lil Wayne years after her deeply personal and widely followed journey of grief following the tragic loss of Nipsey Hussle. While official confirmation from Lauren herself remains limited, the story has taken on a life of its own, spreading rapidly across social media and entertainment platforms. But beyond the headlines and speculation lies a much deeper conversation, one about healing, resilience, emotional growth, and the complex nature of love after loss. To truly understand why this story has resonated so strongly, it's important to reflect on who Lauren London has become in the eyes of the public. She is not just an actress or celebrity, she represents something far more meaningful to many people. After Nipsey Hussle's passing in 2019, Lauren emerged as a symbol of grace under pressure, a woman navigating unimaginable pain while still holding herself together for her children, her family, and the legacy of the man she said loved. Her presence during that time was powerful, not because she said a lot, but because of how intentional she was with what she chose to share. In an era dominated by oversharing, Lauren's restraint became part of her strength. She allowed the world to witness her grief, but only in ways that felt authentic and respectful, not performative. This approach made people feel even more connected to her, as if they were witnessing something real and deeply human. Her tribute at Nipsey Hussle's memorial remains one of the most unforgettable moments in recent public memory. It was emotional, raw, and filled with love. She spoke not only as a partner, but as someone who had experienced a profound spiritual connection. Her words didn't just honor Nipsey, they captured the essence of a love that continues beyond physical presence. That moment left a lasting impression on millions, shaping how people viewed her journey in the years that followed. As time went on, Lauren London chose a path that prioritized healing over visibility. She stepped away from constant public appearances, focusing instead on her personal growth and her role as a mother. In doing so, she quietly redefined what strength looks like. It wasn't loud or attention-seeking, it was steady, grounded, and deeply intentional. For many fans, her journey became something they could relate to on a personal level. She spoke about grief in a way that felt honest and unfiltered. She didn't present it as something that fades away with time. Instead, she described it as something you learn to live with, something that evolves as you do. That perspective resonated deeply with people around the world, especially those who had experienced loss themselves. Because of this emotional connection, any new chapter in her life naturally carries significant weight. The reports suggesting that she may be expecting a child with Lil Wayne have sparked a wide range of reactions. Some people view it as a beautiful sign of growth, a reminder that life continues, that healing is possible, and that new beginnings can emerge even after the darkest moments. Others, however, feel conflicted. For them, Lauren's identity is still closely tied to her relationship with Nipsey Hussle. The idea of her moving forward, especially in such a meaningful way, challenges their emotional connection to that chapter of her life. This reaction highlights something important about how people engage with public figures. They often form attachments not just to the person, but to a specific moment or story associated with them. But life is not meant to stay frozen in one chapter. And perhaps that is one of the most important messages in this unfolding story. Adding further complexity is Lauren's history with Lil Wayne. Their relationship existed long before Nipsey Hussle, and they share a son together. Over the years, they have maintained a co-parenting relationship that has remained largely private and respectful. While their connection hasn't always been in the spotlight, it has never disappeared, it has simply evolved. If the current reports are true, this could represent a new phase in that evolution. It could reflect two people reconnecting from a place of maturity and shared history. Relationships are rarely straightforward. They are shaped by time, growth, and changing circumstances. What may not have worked in the past can sometimes take on new meaning later in life. It's also worth considering how much of this story is shaped by speculation versus reality. In today's digital age, narratives can spread quickly, often without confirmation. This raises important questions about privacy and the responsibility of both media and audiences. Lauren London has consistently chosen to keep her personal life private, And yet moments like this remind us how difficult that can be when public interest is so intense. Another key element of this conversation is the idea of loyalty and how it is perceived. Some people believe that moving forward after a loss, especially one as significant as Nipsey Hussle's, can somehow diminish the love that came before. But that perspective overlooks a deeper truth. Love does not disappear. It changes form. It becomes part of who you are, influencing how you move through the world. Lauren's own words over the years have reflected this understanding. She has spoken about carrying grief, not as a burden, but as something that shapes growth. She has shown that it is possible to honor the past while still allowing yourself to experience the present. If she is indeed embracing a new chapter, it does not erase her past, it builds upon it. The public reaction to this story also reveals how deeply people are drawn to narratives of resilience. There is something powerful about watching someone navigate pain and come out stronger on the other side. Lauren London's journey has embodied that strength, making her story feel larger than life, even though it is rooted in very real human experiences. At the same time, this situation serves as a reminder that public figures are still individuals with their own timelines, emotions, and choices. They are not defined solely by the moments that the public chooses to remember. They grow, they change, and they deserve the space to do so without constant judgment or expectation. As this story continues to spread and spark conversation across the internet, one thing becomes clear. This is not just about headlines, rumors, or celebrity speculation. It's about something much deeper. It's about how people heal. It's about how life moves forward even when we think it shouldn't. And it's about the complicated, deeply human reality of love, loss, and new beginnings. Lauren London's journey has never been an ordinary one in the eyes of the public. From her years with Nipsey Hussle, to the devastating loss that followed, to the quiet strength she has shown ever since her life has been watched, discussed, and deeply felt by millions. And yet through all of it, she has remained grounded in something rare: authenticity. She never tried to rush grief. She never tried to perform healing for the world. Instead, she allowed herself to feel, to pause, and to move through pain in her own time. That alone is something many people connected with, because grief is not a straight line, and healing is not something that can be measured on a timeline. Now, with new reports linking her to Lil Wayne in a possible new chapter of her life, the conversation has shifted once again. Some see hope in it, others feel uncertainty. But perhaps the real truth lies somewhere beyond public opinion. Because at the end of the day, Lauren London is not just a memory of her past. She is not frozen in one moment of love or loss. She is a person who continues to grow, evolve, and make choices that belong to her own life, not the expectations of the world watching her. So as this conversation continues online, let's remember to approach it with understanding, respect, and perspective. Because at the end of the day, stories like this are not just about celebrities, they're about humanity. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dive stories like this one. And let us know your thoughts in the comments below, because your voice matters in the conversation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.